Those two defensive tackles that they have, Clark and Odigizua, are playing so much better with the addition of Quinnen Williams. That might be the trade that completely changes the fortune for the Cowboys, not just for this season, but for multiple seasons coming up here. So I want to start this episode off by talking about the Cowboys versus the Eagles game. And I want to start in Dallas, to be honest with you. This was an impressive win by the Cowboys. There's no doubt about it. I think that their defense played at such a high level. I think that the addition of Quinnen Williams, but not just the addition of Williams, but you look at bringing back Overshown from injury. This Revel kid looks like he could be a really good player for this team. They brought back Kalen Carson. He looks like he could potentially be a player out there. And Logan Wilson, the linebacker. They have upgraded this defense big time. And those two defensive tackles that they have, Clark and Odigizua, are playing so much better with the addition of Quinnen Williams. That might be the trade that completely changes the fortune for the Cowboys, not just for this season, but for multiple seasons coming up here. And I think that that's the storyline coming out of this game. Dak played tremendous, and I know he's going to get a lot of credit for this game. So is George Pickens. But I think that people need to pay attention to what this defense did, because they got 8 straight stops yesterday against the Philadelphia Eagles offense, who, yes, the offense has not performed up to the expectations that you think that they should perform up to. But stopping that offense with the type of pieces that they have 8 straight times, that's just really impressive stuff for the Cowboys. And it was critical stops as well. I mean, coming up with that stop on 3rd and 2, where it looked like the Eagles were just going to drive down the field, kick a field goal, and sneak out another victory. They were able to get a stop. That's something that we weren't seeing at the beginning of the season from the Cowboys. So I think from that perspective, the Cowboys defense, they just showed up to play this game. And I think that they just deserve so much credit for their performance, because again, that Eagles offense, it's not an easy offense to stop 8 straight times, no matter what you think of the coordinator or the quarterback, whatever it may be. But I want to get into something when it comes to the Cowboys. George Pickens is a better receiver than CeeDee Lamb. And I know there's a lot of Cowboys fans that are saying, look, let's not compare the two guys. Let's just enjoy having both of these guys on the team. CeeDee Lamb has to play better. Bottom line, they almost lost that game yesterday because of CeeDee Lamb. That would have been the second game against the Eagles this season where he cost them the game because he can't hold on to the football. I just expect way more from CeeDee Lamb, and he needs to perform up to the standard that we all know CeeDee Lamb can perform up to. George Pickens is performing not just up to the standard that we expect from George Pickens, but well beyond that. And it kind of makes you think, is this guy one of these Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase type receivers? He just hasn't had a quarterback to throw him the football. Because when you watch this guy play, I mean, when it comes to being a naturally talented football player, I just don't think you see as many naturally talented football players as George Pickens. I mean, his catch radius is outstanding. I mean, you talk about a guy with the long arms, with the vertical, with the strong hands, with the play strength, just so many great things that he brings to that team. And I mean, you talk about a guy who cornerbacks do not want to deal with this guy off the line of scrimmage. I mean, they'll be playing inside leverage, and George Pickens will still be able to get a slant off, and it's easy money. Like, that is one of the most unguardable routes in football for a receiver, that George Pickens slant. He's just too strong off the line of scrimmage. If you try and jam him, he's going to win. And he has that play strength and the strong hands to bring in slants in contested windows. So I think that George Pickens has just been so impressive for this team. And recognize this, when the Cowboys need to make plays, they go to Pickens. Like, CeeDee Lamb is just not to be trusted at the current moment. And do I think CeeDee Lamb's going to get it together and by the end of the season he'll be playing better football? No doubt about it. But if I'm the Cowboys coaching staff, this offense goes where George Pickens goes, right? Like, you build your game plan around George Pickens getting the football, and we'll work the ball to the other receivers. When you talk about Lamb, Ferguson, Flournoy's playing very well. I'm not super high on Turpin, but he's an option for them, right? That's the way I would do it. And I want to talk about Dak for a second. I think Dak's performance against the Eagles was very impressive. And we can't look at this and say, oh, well, look at the interception he threw and he almost threw another one. Okay. The Eagles defense over the last 2 weeks has held the Lions and the Packers to 16 points or something along those lines. So for Dak to go in there and play as well as he did, guys, the Eagles defense, it's not like there's easy throws to be made. You got to throw the ball sometimes into the teeth of the defense. You have to throw the ball into tight windows against this defense because that's a lot of times all you really have. Their secondary is too good. Their pass rush, especially adding Jalen Phillips, their pass rush is too damn good that it's hard to buy time in the pocket. Not only that, these linebackers, I mean, look, Nakobe Dean, holy cow, this guy is a good football player, man. Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell. I mean, on every level of the defense, they have superstar players and they have a great defensive coordinator. So you're going to have to put the ball in spots that you don't want your quarterback to put the ball into because that's really the only way you're going to move the ball on this defense. And Dak Prescott was able to do that consistently, making big throw after big throw. And that, I think, is the story coming out of this game outside of their defense is that Dak was making big time throws in this game. And he was putting the ball into some windows that it's difficult to put the ball into when you talk about a lot of the quarterbacks in the league. And I think that, we have to look at his performance, compare that to Jordan Love and Jared Goff's performance. And I don't think it comes anywhere close. He was way better than those two quarterbacks. And those are two quarterbacks that people look at as top 15 quarterbacks in the league. They looked pedestrian against that Eagles defense, not Dak. Dak looked really good. He looked sharp. He looked in control. He looked decisive, which is difficult to do against a Vic Fangio defense because he throws so many things at you post-snap and his adjustments are so damn good that it's difficult to really get a feel for the game playing against that defense because they throw so many looks at you and they have so much talent on that side of the ball that for Dak Prescott to play like he did, that was some impressive stuff.